Well, time check. It is 6. Probably after before I made this video, I was just on my chat. You can say I have a friend on my back. I'm trying to go through a lot of stuff, trying to set up a lot of, And I realized that I need to make a video like this personally. If you're a person and you feel like you want to achieve your goal, you want to start a career, and you feel like you have no idea about something that you want to do, and you keep on thinking about it on how should I improve it to APC, I think before you do anything else, bro, you need just to understand what type of a person you are. Something that I'm trying to mean, yourself, you need to understand your potential and what you can do. Because it's not like you can do everything. Personally, I remember when I grew up, one of the things that I remember doing personally is me to understand that I can't do this everyday stuff, like wake up, go to the construction site and start doing that kind of job. I grew up with no energy, with no nothing. If I remember, even those days while I was still in the village, because from my young age I grew up in the village, and up to when I was something like 14, 15, and that's when I was like, man, maybe I wasn't born for this life of village life. Or by me growing up in the village, I've seen all my uncles. I've seen their photos in their albums, like they were born in the same area. And right now they have got some small business again at this same place. They are still the same. Personally, I saw that's not my thing really. And that's when I got this mentality of, you know what? I just need to do something. Why? Is this the life that I should be living? I had to think. Meanwhile, I had to understand what I can do. You understand? So it was just one day, I woke up, I was like, you know what? This shit, I'm not gonna take it anymore. I'm not gonna go through that. I'm not gonna keep watching myself. I think I can do better. I thought about that, and it was one day. I remember booking my ticket with my last money. I didn't know where I was heading, actually. Boom, I went in the city, and that's Kampala, my whole country-based city. And yeah, I started life on the street, grinding, like grinding on the street, you understand? And it didn't took me long until I realized, man, I need a skill, I need to do something for myself. And that's when I started life. But when you come into this site, if you come into this position of me becoming a better trader, me having a track record whereby I can make my first 180K, my first 100K in a month or something like that, to become that person, I needed no one. I realized that all I needed is just a video like this, just to guide me, to give me a potential, to show me what I can do in a very short period of time. And one of the things that, yes, I knew my potential, I knew I can do this, even though we are not that far, but at least we can see where we are heading. But first of all, I knew that someone can wake up from nowhere and become a better person. You understand? I knew that. But one thing that I didn't know is how to do it. And meanwhile, to learn how to do it, I needed just to understand myself. It's like when you're new to trading, most of the time you try you try a lot of strategies, you try a lot of entries, a lot of models, until when you understand that this model, it may be the best. Actually, you may get a mentor who is doing amazing results trading a certain model. So you can see it and be like, man, I know this model, this one became rich by this model, but guess what? It's not my thing. And you can see that clearly. If you can see that this is not my thing, yes, but he's a big mentor, he makes money, but what he's teaching is not my thing. I've seen a lot of scalper traders. I'm not against stock scalping. I've seen a lot of scalping traders, but when I see their models, and I see how they are scalping and they are making money, they are profitable, I'd be like, man, I can't be this type of a trader. Simply because I just want to chill. I don't want to be working 9 to 5 again, like, being owned by charts. And I don't want to get worried every time when I get into a trade. And that comes to a point of me understanding myself. And most of the time, to understand yourself, you need to fail at a certain point. Like, you need to fail at a lot of stuff in order for you to choose what you can do the best. And that is one thing that you may not actually realize, and still, maybe if you're still watching this video now, but you need to fail at a lot of stuff in order for you to make it out. I'm going to a side of personal-wise or something like that. I'm a person who, by the time I came to my city, there's one thing I was, careful of. Like, when just a street boy, you have nothing to eat, you just stranded on the street, you're trying to make it out. At the same time, you'll be like, man, if I mess up and I take someone's thing, which is not mine, I'm getting banned. Because I've watched videos, I've seen I've had in the city, even if you take something small, they can ban you. You may die, you understand? I thought about it, I had that in my mind. I will tell you why I had to talk about this. Well, I had that in my mind. I was like, man, someone need to work. Because if you take someone's thing, man, if you steal, if you start robbing, if you join the gang group and all of those stuff, man, it's not going to end well. So I saw that at a young age. I was thinking about it. I was like, man, if I do this, it's not going to end well. That's why I was so humble to the extent, instead of me going to the street, start taking people's stuff or something, like you would think about it, you would say, why would you do? Why would you think about that? I would think about that because that's what everyone was doing on a street. You're a street guy, man, you need to survive. Instead, I would find some people and help them get what I want, and even some people used to help me in return for food or something like that, so that I can survive as I'm getting a job or something what to do. So, what I'm trying to, and that helped me to build a brand. It helps me to start learning a skill, like normal skill. I started teaching myself, learning brick by brick. Until then, I made a brand. I opened my brand. I had to create and build my brand. And approximately, my brand reached a time where it could make, at least on good season, it would make 3,000 USD. And that is, it's not something easy in everyday business, man. A month, 3,000 USD and 2,500. But at the same time, I was too young to manage everything in order to have control of the money, to make more investment. But I wasn't so wise how I am right now. But if you bring that scenario to trading, I will show you how it helps me. It helped me. For example, when I was going to trading, I played everyone's clip. Everyone who was successful by that moment. I don't know my seat. Will it go through? Everyone who was successful by that moment, I had to replay the journey from the start. I realized these guys, they became profitable in 5 years, 4 years, 6 years, 3 years. Like someone struggling for 3 years. So as I was going through trading, I knew this is not something which is easy. I knew it is something hard. I knew something which is gonna make you millions. You're not gonna learn it today or tomorrow or something like that. Then that one humbled me. I had to settle down and I learned. I couldn't play. Whenever I used to hear about risk management, I would take that serious. Meanwhile, I was like, maybe this is what used to take. This is what used to make these people go so long, minus them being profitable, you understand? So that one, I was scared about trading to the extent I had to note every movement that I would be taking. You understand? So that's it. So most of people right now, let's say if you hear about risk management or here, follow your plan or something like that. Or you'll be like, all you're hearing is you're not taking everything seriously. You're messing up, man. Watch your life. Time is moving. You can't keep up. You can't keep on messing your life like that. Not following your plans. Not thinking in a big picture. You understand? So you need to think in a long-term way. You need to think about the system more than the money. You need to see more the charts than the MT5. And that's what helped me most of the time. And I realized there is even days where you can go into a drawdown, there's bad days. Then at the end of the day, you need to learn how to move out of the bad days, how to control your losses more than anything else, because losses are part of the game. But I'm gonna find another day to talk about that topic because it is very important. All right, with that being said, I see you in another video.